Throughout history, the people who understood human behavior often had an advantage over those who ignored it. Power was never controlled only by those who had the loudest voice, the biggest army, or the highest position. Many times, it was controlled by those who understood emotions, perception, and the hidden motivations behind human actions. One of the most controversial thinkers associated with this idea was Niccolò Machiavelli. His name has become connected with strategy, influence, and political intelligence. Some see him as a symbol of manipulation, while others see him as someone who simply revealed the uncomfortable truths about human nature. The reality is that every day, people are influenced by invisible forces. A person's words, emotions, confidence, timing, and decisions can change how others react to them. Those who understand these principles can navigate difficult situations more effectively. Those who ignore them often find themselves being controlled by others without even realizing it. But there is a difference between understanding power and abusing it. The purpose of learning these psychological principles is not to harm people or deceive them. It is to develop awareness, protect yourself from manipulation, and communicate with greater confidence. Here are 10 powerful psychological strategies inspired by Machiavellian thinking that reveal how influence works in human interactions. The first principle is understanding the power of silence. Most people underestimate silence because they believe power comes from constantly speaking. They rush to explain themselves, defend their choices, or fill every uncomfortable moment with words. But silence creates something rare, uncertainty. When you remain calm and comfortable with silence, you allow others to reveal more than they intended. People often expose their emotions when they feel pressure from a quiet moment. They start explaining, justifying, and sometimes revealing their true intentions. A person who always reacts immediately gives away control. They show their emotions before they understand the situation. But someone who pauses before responding creates space to think. That small moment can completely change the dynamic. Silence is not about ignoring people. It is about controlling your own reactions. The person who controls their emotions often controls the direction of the conversation. The second principle is controlling perception. Human beings do not always respond to reality. They respond to the way they perceive reality. Two people can experience the same event and interpret it completely differently because perception shapes their decisions. This is why reputation, confidence, and presentation matter. A person who appears uncertain may be ignored even when they have valuable ideas. A person who communicates with confidence is often given more attention before proving anything. This does not mean creating a false image. It means understanding that how you present yourself influences how others receive your message. Machiavelli understood that appearance plays a powerful role in human relationships. People often judge what they can see before they discover what exists beneath the surface. The third principle is emotional discipline. One of the biggest weaknesses people reveal is uncontrolled emotion. Anger, fear, desperation, and insecurity can cause people to make decisions they later regret. When someone can easily provoke your emotions, they can influence your actions. A person who knows exactly how to make you angry already has a form of control over you. Emotional discipline does not mean becoming emotionless. It means learning to choose your response instead of allowing your emotions to choose for you. The calmest person in a tense situation often has the greatest advantage because they can observe while others are reacting. Imagine two people in an argument. One person is shouting, becoming frustrated, and losing focus. The other remains calm, listens carefully, and responds with control. Even before the conversation ends, the balance of power has already changed. The fourth principle is understanding incentives. Every person has motivations, whether they admit them or not. People make decisions based on their desires, fears, goals, and beliefs. If you want to influence a situation, you must first understand what matters to the people involved. Many unsuccessful attempts at persuasion fail because people focus only on what they want to say. They ignore what the other person actually wants. Effective communication begins with understanding. A leader, negotiator, or strategist does not only ask, "How can I get what I want?" They ask, "What motivates the other person?" When you understand someone's priorities, you can communicate in a way that creates cooperation instead of resistance. The fifth principle is never revealing all your intentions too quickly. In many situations, people lose their advantage because they reveal every thought, every plan, and every emotion immediately. Mystery creates curiosity. Patience creates opportunity. This does not mean lying or hiding important information. It means understanding timing. A person who announces every move before acting gives others the ability to interfere. A person who thinks carefully before revealing information maintains more control over their decisions. Strategic thinking requires patience. Sometimes the strongest move is not making your next move obvious. The sixth principle is mastering the art of choosing your battles. Many people believe that power comes from winning every argument, proving every point, and responding to every challenge. But true strategic thinking understands that not every conflict deserves your energy. A person who reacts to everything becomes predictable. Others can easily control their attention by creating distractions, provoking emotions, or forcing them into unnecessary battles. The wise person understands that sometimes the greatest victory is refusing to enter a fight that offers no real benefit. Machiavellian thinking emphasizes the importance of strategy over emotion. Before taking action, ask yourself, does this move improve my position? Does it protect my goals? Does it create a better outcome? Sometimes silence is stronger than an argument. Sometimes walking away is more powerful than proving someone wrong. The person who chooses their battles carefully protects their time, reputation, and influence. The seventh principle is learning the power of alliances. Throughout history, no great achievement has been accomplished entirely alone. Influence grows through relationships, trust, and connections with people who share common goals. But not every relationship is equal. Some connections strengthen your position, while others weaken it. Understanding alliances means recognizing who supports your growth, who respects your values, and who only appears when they need something. A strategic person does not judge relationships only by emotions. They also consider compatibility, trust, and mutual benefit. This does not mean treating people like tools. It means understanding that every relationship has a foundation. Strong relationships are built on respect, honesty, and shared interests. People often underestimate the importance of choosing the right environment. The people around you influence your thinking, your confidence, and your opportunities. The eighth principle is controlling information. Information has always been one of the most valuable forms of power. The person who understands the situation usually has an advantage over the person who acts without knowledge. Many mistakes happen because people make decisions based on assumptions rather than facts. Before responding, gather information. Before judging someone, understand the situation. Before making a major decision, consider what you might not know. A strategic mind does not rush toward conclusions. It observes patterns. In conversations, information also matters. Listening carefully can reveal what people value, what they fear, and what they are trying to achieve. The person who listens often learns more than the person who speaks constantly. Knowledge creates confidence because uncertainty decreases when understanding increases. The ninth principle is developing a strong personal presence. Some people enter a room and immediately gain attention. Others struggle to be noticed despite having valuable ideas. This difference often comes from presence. Personal presence is created through confidence, communication, emotional control, and self-respect. A person with strong presence does not need to constantly prove themselves. Their behavior communicates stability. They speak clearly. They maintain composure. They respect others while respecting themselves. People naturally pay attention to those who appear secure because confidence signals competence. However, true confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance tries to convince others of importance. Confidence does not need constant approval. The final principle is understanding yourself. The greatest strategic advantage is self-awareness. Many people spend their entire lives trying to understand other people while ignoring their own weaknesses. But if you do not understand yourself, your emotions, your fears, and your desires, someone else can easily influence you. Self-awareness allows you to recognize your patterns. It helps you understand why certain words affect you, why certain situations trigger emotional reactions, and why certain decisions feel difficult. The person who knows themselves becomes harder to manipulate. Machiavelli's greatest lesson was not simply about controlling others. It was about understanding the reality of human behavior. The world is filled with competition, persuasion, emotions, and hidden motivations. Ignoring these forces does not make them disappear. It only makes you less prepared to handle them. The strongest individuals are not those who manipulate everyone around them. They are those who understand people while maintaining their own principles. Power without wisdom creates destruction. Intelligence without morality creates danger. But awareness combined with discipline creates true strength. The goal is not to become someone who controls others through fear. The goal is to become someone who cannot easily be controlled through ignorance. When you understand psychology, you communicate better. When you understand emotions, you make better decisions. When you understand strategy, you move through difficult situations with greater confidence. The world will always contain people who attempt to influence, persuade, and sometimes manipulate. The question is not whether influence exists. The question is whether you understand it. Because the person who understands human nature is no longer simply reacting to the world around them. They are prepared.